Hey, chicks, let's chat. So listen, last night my homegirl called me and she was like, "Hey, listen, I got some personal questions to ask you about." I was like, "Okay, cool, shoot," because me and her pretty close, so whatever she gonna ask me, I'm gonna just be honest with her about it. So I was like, "What's up?" So she was like, she was like, "First, let me ask you, is there anybody that you're dealing with or anything like that?" I was like, "No, I'm cooling right now." So she was like, "Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking." So she said, "Well, you know, um, have you noticed that you may be a little bit more focused, when you are abstaining or whatever?" I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I said, "Listen, I am certain that there is a level of clarity that comes with abstaining from intimacy, right?" I said, I'm so sure about that now I can really see why, you know, besides just the obvious reasons, I can really see why, God wants us to be, virgins when we marry. Because the level of clarity that you have about people when you are not being intimate with them is next level, and it's top tier at the same time, right? Because it ain't no sense in saying that our judgment doesn't get cloudy whenever we are dealing with people, because it does. And especially when we are being intimate with them. And that's the reason why a woman can have all the signs and not see and never have known that her husband was cheating on her. Why? Because she's looking at him from different eyes. She's looking at him from a different space. And, along with wanting to believe the best in him, right? It's the same reason why, you can make different decisions about people. You can see them in a different light when you're not intimate with them, right? You will be able to make better decisions about that person when you're not romantically involved with them. I honestly believe that, because we do tend to overlook a lot of things, right? And why are we overlooking those things about people? Because we already done started being intimate with them. And as women, once we have really given ourselves to them in that way, we want them. We want them. Now, you would have to just be, a certain type of woman, or in a certain type of hurt, unhealed state in your life to just be having intimate relations with somebody, and yet you keep saying, "Hey, I don't want them, I don't want to be with them." The reality is that you would be with them if they was trying to be with you, right? Or if they would, fix a certain thing, you would probably be with them, right? But usually once we start giving ourselves to a person, we are connected to them and we tied to them in certain ways. I ain't gonna say that you just your soul is tied to them. I'm not gonna say that, but I am going to say that you have certain connections with them that are not easily broken once you start being intimate with them. And that's why a lot of times you can't see the things that you need to see. And so, at this age and stage, I feel like, hey, what do you have to lose? Really? What do you have to lose by saying, "You know what? I ain't doing it. I'm good." Now, either you still interested or you ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going nowhere. So if you can't wait until I feel like this is what I want to do, this is the right thing for me to do, then it's cool. Because, I mean, truth be told, listen, I can think back on some good times. So the reality is that I don't need that. Not to say that I don't want it, but I don't have to have that. And I think, once you really start tapping in with yourself and you really make a decision that, hey, unless a relationship is something that I really want and feel like this is something that I really, like I don't want to pass up and this is what I'm trying to do. Until you get to that point while you're dealing with somebody, what you want to keep giving yourself to them for? For what? To repeat the same cycles? Like how many times you got to keep doing the same thing before you like, yeah, that didn't work. That don't work. So there should be a level of wisdom that comes with you getting older. So if you getting older and you still out here just randomly moving around, moving and shaking, it's like, what have you learned in your younger years? What did you learn? Right? Yeah, you had some fun. You was moving and shaking, but did all of your moving and shaking and all of your razzling and dazzling, did it get you what you wanted? Did it yield the outcomes that you wanted? If it did, then why would you still be doing the same thing as you get older? Now you see why, you may have grandmothers and aunties and stuff like that nope, they ain't had a man and they ain't trying to get one. And they all right with that. And even if they ain't all right with that, they still not about to just be having random situations with people, just to satisfy their body. They mind stronger than that, right? And that's not to say that as a woman or as a person that you should not have those desires, because hey, you are a sexual being. Yes, you should, have a desire to have intimacy with anybody, but intimacy with someone is it goes beyond just the physical, right? But because you are a sexual being, yes, you should be able to have pleasure and take pleasure in, sexual intimacy as well. But you should also be able to treasure that and know that that's not something that is for everybody. That's not something that, it has to be part of every situation that you're in. That's just something that you should have learned a long time ago. Every situation don't call for that, right? And you should be able to have enough discipline in you where you understand that. Every situation is not that type of a situation, right? And I probably can say that from a biased perspective because, shoot, I feel like, hey, I done had some good times, and maybe that ain't everybody, situation. So it's still some things to be had or experienced or whatever. So, they may feel like abstaining is, not the thing they want to be doing because they still have some things they want to experience and some things they want to do. Well, listen, at what cost though? At what cost do you want to do it? Because it does take a toll on your heart. It does take a toll on your mind. It does take a toll on, your physical health when you continue to share yourself with people that you are not married to, period. Like, that's just the reality of it. And of course, to be honest, you don't even have to think that way. You don't have to be religious to think that way. I mean, you just do the math on it. How many times are you gonna, be intimate with random people before you get a disease? All right, that's gonna take a toll on your physical. How many times you gonna be intimate with people and your relationship does not work out and it doesn't take a toll on your mental health? I mean, just do the math. Like, one way or another, you're gonna pay for your intimate dealings that you're having when you're hooking up and doing things in situations and circumstances that you shouldn't be doing it in, right? So yeah, I would say if you have never tried abstaining, try it. Give it a try. It can't hurt nothing. And if you are abstaining, then hey, congratulations. I pray God give you all the strength that you need on the journey because, hey, ain't no sense of saying some nights you do need some extra strength to stay on, to stay on task and to not fall off the wagon, if you will. But it's just like anything, it could be done, It ain't nothing that is so hard that, you just, because like I have heard women say, well, I'm always going to sleep with a man and this and that, and they have to have somebody in their bed, this, that, or the third. Okay, And some of them women, they're the most mentally unhealthy women that I know too. Right? Yeah, that's just the truth of that matter. But like I said, there is a level of clarity and there's a level of focus that comes when you are not sharing yourself with people that you are not, you know, with in that way. And I just suggest that you try it if you haven't. Enjoy your day.